Hello, 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 and welcome to episode number 100 of the Teen Talks Gang podcast. My name is Mango, and I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. Obviously, today is a bit of a special episode because it is episode 100, and obviously, I really want to thank everyone that keeps on listening for some reason, despite this podcast being literally the worst podcast on the internet. But somehow I have made it, and honestly, thanks to myself too for somehow not getting bored and somehow not giving up. But thank you mostly to the people who keep on listening, to the people who keep on liking and subscribing and following and getting the views up every single week. And yeah, it's really good that we've gotten to episode 100. Honestly, I wish that this episode I had more to talk about, that there was more, substance and something special to do for episode 100. I think eventually I will try to do like a behind the scenes episode or something like that. But there's honestly, like, I couldn't really think of anything special to do. I was thinking I might make a new intro soon, but the current one, the one that plays at the beginning of every episode with uh, Teen Toxic and Podcast, where I embarrassed myself, I think that one's just too iconic. I feel like and I would like to keep it. At the same time, I'm like, maybe we should change it just for episode 100, but I will try to experiment with like GarageBand and stuff like that. I don't know. Ooh, I've been talking way too long in this intro already. I would also like to say that last episode I kind of forgot to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas and everything like that. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa or whatever you celebrate, or it's just happy winter break and holidays, hopefully. Um I am recording this episode in advance. Usually I record on Fridays. I'm recording this on a Tuesday because I won't be able to record on a Friday and upload on a Saturday because of family stuff. But I'm recording this in advance. Happy holidays. This is the last episode as well of 2025. So happy new year. And I've really been resting and rejuvenating over this break and enjoying my time off. And I hope you guys are as well. Also remember to follow, share, and like. I know I sound super cringy, but Spotify told me to say that. And that's kind of it for this intro. Thank you for episode 100. But let's head over to our program of the week. Okay, I think our program of the week this week kind of perfectly reflects how I currently kind of feel in a sense, in the sense that like I feel very calm and I just feel like I'm alone and by myself. And that's kind of how this program feels. And this program is Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer and their 2013 World Figure Skating Championships exhibition gala. The music is Hallelujah, performed by Jeff Buckley. This program, oh my gosh, my computer is gonna die. This program is just the epitome of dancing like nobody's watching, I feel like, because it just feels like there's not even an audience there. It just genuinely feels like it's just pretty lights in an ice skating rink and they're just skating around. Program starts off beautifully where they kind of take each other's hands, but they're kind of, I don't know, unsure in that motion, I guess. They're just the experts of acting with so much passionate emotion. As we all know, Virtue and Moya are so talented with that. But taking each other's hands, and then they kind of go into that, classic waltzing around, classic just dancing and flowing and gliding around. And then a few of the like mini elements in the program, there's this moment where um she is lifted up and then he kind of supports her on his knee and then he turns direction and then he turns direction again, but they're skating forward the whole time. Does that make sense? I don't know, but it's a beautiful like motion. It looks so simple, but I'm sure it's like super duper duper difficult changing like the direction and the edge that the blade is on, but it's beautiful. There's another moment where Scott Moore goes into a lunge. He lifts Tessa Virtue onto his knee as well. And then from that lunge position, they go into like kind of a mini rotational lift kind of vibe. Um, there's another rotational lift moment where they kind of go into rotational lift and then it kind of ends very abruptly and he sets her onto the ground. And it's just a very beautiful moment during like the main chorus or like outcry and in of like the big break in the song. I feel like they pick up so much speed in so few steps, I feel like. And Tessa Virtue kind of skates forward and almost runs away, not runs away, but skates very much ahead of Scott Moyer, and then he catches up to her. Then he kind of goes ahead of her and she catches up to him. And it's just like it's very, very nice vibes. It's soft music. Um what else is very nice? And then the very end of this program, they kind of look like they're gonna go into two separate spins, and then they end up spinning together, and then the spin doesn't really become a combination spin at all. It actually becomes a very beautiful stationary lift where each of them have, at least Scott Moyer has one leg in the air and one leg on the ground, and it's a very beautiful position. And it's just like a sit spin, but two people together, and then they end off kind of split together apart in the end. And just the emotion, just the vibes, it's calm. The audience is not clapping during the performance. It's one of those performances where the audience is not clapping to the end and they just want to enjoy it as much as we do. And it's a beautiful program. It's calm, it's hallelujah. Of course, it's just like it's powerful in such a calm way, the way that Jeff Buckley performs it and the way that Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer skate to it. So go check it out after this episode. Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer in their 2013 World's Exhibition Gala to Hallelujah performed by Jeff Buckley. And now let's head over to our main episode. Hey guys, so it is episode 100. Again, like I said, there's nothing really special in the main episode to talk about, though, these competitions, of course, are special to me. I genuinely do wish I had something special to talk about and, lots of thank yous and everything, but genuinely, I really do want to say thank you for all the support in this episode and in the many, many future episodes that I am going to do. Yeah, I don't see myself ending this anytime soon. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on going until I find a reason why I should stop, and it's ought to be a very big reason why I should stop. But I don't know. I like doing my thing. I don't know. But today's episode is not an episode about an international competition, but actually several national competitions. Basically, in the world of figure skating, from about mid to late December to early January, and even some very few countries back in November, late November era. There tends to be a bunch of national figure skating championships that are still really important, in my opinion, to cover because they, do influence Olympic results, or not results, Olympic selections and selections for Europeans and four continents, and a lot of other big competitions, such like Worlds later in the season. Of course, these national figure skating championships only feature skaters from one country. So the Japanese national figure skating championships only, of course, have skaters from Japan. The Italian ones only have skaters from Italy. And so these are not international competitions. So just keep that in mind. I'm so sorry for the background noise. But this episode is going to be a quick flash through all of the major, very big skating countries and their national figure skating championships. And of course, some of these countries have already announced their Olympic teams and who is going to be attending the Olympics, which is obviously super important because these national competitions select Olympic skaters. Those Olympic skaters will compete in the Olympics, and the people who compete in the Olympics are going to be, medal contenders and everything. Today I will be covering um, kind of three main ones: Japanese nationals, Italian nationals, and French nationals as like the big main ones. But I will also cover some of the other, maybe smaller countries with not as many skaters. I am very sorry that I cannot like cover every single country because that would be very difficult. Every country that participates in figure skating, the majority of them have their own national figure skating championships, and it would be very, 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 very difficult for me to talk about them all in one episode. But this is kind of your one-stop shop to Japanese nationals, Italian nationals, French nationals, Swiss nationals, Estonian nationals, and British nationals. And I will be talking about just in general who has been selected for the Olympics so far. And kind of talking about those nationals as well. And so it is a very quick flash, one-stop shop through all the major, 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 major nationals in this one episode. I did this similarly last year as well, where I kind of did like around the world in like 58 minutes, I think it was, or something, where I just talked about nationals and nationals and nationals and nationals. And this season I'm doing the exact same, your one-stop shop to talk about all the other nationals, with the exception of US nationals, because I will make US nationals its own episode, a preview episode and a review episode, because I live in the US and I will watch US nationals, and the majority of my viewers live in the US as well. So yeah, So get ready for that too. Last thing before that, I just want to say the chaos in figure skating seeps through into the national events as well. There's no escaping the chaos in figure skating in any type of event. Even national events have so much chaos. And also keep in mind that national scoring tends to be very, very, very high compared to international standards. Judges in the national scoring competitions in the nationals in the majority of countries usually score skaters very high, and they are very inflated scores compared to what they would usually get internationally. Except Japan, honestly, Japan is an example of a country whose scores are not as inflated. Which is strange, unfortunately, which, every result should be realistic, but whatever. So let's in fact start with Japanese nationals because that is really the behemoth, that is the largest nationals that we're going to talk about today. Um, Japanese nationals is quite the bloodbath, right? We talk about Japanese nationals, you think about Japan, Japan is just bad. Not bad, not bad. That sounds really bad. Japan is quite intense. That's what I want to say. Um, Talking about some of these Japanese men, uh, let's see. Starting with the men's field, I'm gonna start with sixth place and move up from there. Keep in mind, Japan is also a country that allows juniors in their senior national competition. So that's I will be talking about a few, and I mean a very select few of the juniors because there's not enough time to talk about all 30 skaters in every competition. But starting with the men, let's talk about sixth place, which genuinely breaks my heart to talk about him as the first skater in this episode. He should be first for everyone, in my opinion, and that is Kazuki Tomono of Japan. This was Kazuki Tomono's third attempt at making the Japanese Olympic team, and it just didn't work out, and it genuinely breaks my heart to say that. And he's literally my one of my favorites, and it breaks my heart, but let's talk about these performances. He was fourth place in the short program here at Japanese Nationals. Did a great quad toe, triple toe. The quad toe, I think, had a bit of a step out on it. He fell on a spin. He did the triple axel. The free skate was a bit of a struggle, but oh my gosh, this free skate is so beautiful. This free skate, I will remember this free skate, I think, for the rest of my life because it's genuinely such a beautiful skate. The quads just weren't there. A fall on the quad toe, repetition call on the second quad toe, the under rotation and a big step out on the quad salchow. Triple axel had a big step out, and then he got a repetition on a second triple axel as well. You kind of saw it on his face when he finished the program. You knew that he was kind of disappointed. He had a very interesting triple axel. In the second half of the program, but I remember watching it and I remember the crowd was just cheering him on because you knew that the crowd knew his story. You knew that the crowd had him on their minds and their hearts, and you knew the crowd was supporting him every step of the way. And I think he realized that throughout the performance as well. There was a big smile on his face after that triple axel air. It's a beautiful program. This program is Halston by Stefan Mocio, I believe. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's just a beautiful program. It's stunning, and I'm just so sad that we're not going to see it. I believe this is Kazuki Tomono's last season. I don't know if he's officially said that he's going to retire yet, but regardless of whatever happens, he's not going to the Olympics, unfortunately, on this third attempt of trying to get there. He is second alternate, I believe, this time around. Regardless of what happens, I think Kazuki Tomono has had a wonderful career. I truly believe that. Maybe the success and the medals weren't there, but he is such an amazing skater, and I will remember his performances like forever. That's how I feel. But yeah, Kazuki Tomono in sixth place. In fifth place at Japanese Nationals was the another Japanese skater. So that another Japanese skater, of course, it's Japanese Nationals. Sota Yamamoto of Japan. He was sixth in the short program, a bit of a step out on the quad toe. Rest of the program was done cleanly. Probably wanted a triple toe on top of the quad sal, only got the double done. Fifth place in the free skate. Quad sal was very nice. Quad toe fall under rotation, and then a repetition and under rotated on the second quad toe. Rest of the program done cleanly. Bit of a stuck landing on the triple flip. But it was a good performance from Sota Yamamoto too. He is also, like Kazuki Kitamono, a skater who is, I think this is his third time around trying to make this Olympics. Uh, No, I think this is his second time making. No, he could have got it in 2018 as well. So, another really, really good skater, another a skater who puts a lot of heart into performances as well. Who has had a lot of success with that Grand Prix final 2 seasons, 3 seasons ago. Again, just heartbreaking to see so many talented skaters, but Japan just can't. It doesn't. It should be given like 20 Olympic spots. Yeah, really good attempts, really good skates from Sota Yamamoto. But the field is just so, 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 so competitive. And I wish I could send all these skaters to the Olympics. In fourth place is a skater who is on the junior level, who really dominates on the junior level. He was fourth here in the senior national competition. Ryo Nakata, he has really been seen as somebody who um, what do you say? He's really been seen as somebody who is kind of the next generation of Japanese men's skating, and I would definitely agree with that. He was third in the short program here with a clean skate, and then he was fourth in the free skate with a fairly clean skate. Wanted a quad toe instead of a triple toe that he did. Step out on the triple axle, pop double loop, but otherwise it was a good program. A lot of people have kind of seen him, I feel like, as like the next one, the next Yuma Kageyama, the next Shoma Uno, whatever you want to call it. He's very young, he's very talented. If you've seen him on the junior ranks, you know how good he is of a skater. And I definitely agree with all the, very future potential hopes that we're seeing in Ryu Nakata. So really good skater. Moving on to the top three here in Japan, these are the three men that will be representing Japan in the not nationals, in the Olympics. In third place was Kalmira. This was a result for Kalmira. We saw Kalmira back on the Grand Prix. I think a lot of people were very unsure about Kalmira. He was 10th back in Grand Prix France and then third in Skate Canada. And people thought maybe he's going to make it, maybe he's not. This was the moment to show up and skate as well as he did. He was second in the short here with a clean skate. Then he was third place in the free with a fairly decent program in the first half. Second half, the program had many, many, many mistakes, kind of stuck landings, under rotations on both triple axles, but it really didn't matter. He missed a spin, unfortunately, but it was just enough. It was enough to get him above some of the other skaters. It was enough to keep his place on the podium. And yeah, good skate for him overall for third place, making it to the Japanese Olympic team. In fifth place here was Shun Sato, who had a good short program. He did pop a quad Lutz attempt into a triple Lutz attempt, but obviously still a great jump to have. He was actually first, and I mean this, first in the free skate as a very impressive result. Quad Lutz was good, 2 quad toes done. The triple Lutz had a bit of a stuck landing at the end of the program, but otherwise it was quite good. And I do see Shinzato as somebody who is a very dark horse for that Olympic podium. He definitely could make it. He was third at the Grand Prix final. I think Shinzato could really, really make it as an Olympic uh, medalist as well. I think he's a really impressive skater, so great for him. First place overall here, kind of expected, I guess, for being kind of the reigning king of Japan, I guess, was Yuma Kageyama, who got a good short program, just a bit of a stuck landing on the triple axel, not the cleanest landing. He was second place in the free skate. Everything was fairly okay except for a single axle instead of a triple axle, and then a fall and quarter on a quad toe attempt. That was also a repetition call, unfortunately. But I want to say that his opening quad sal almost got all fives. It was 5 5 5 5 5 4 4 5 4. If it were up to me, I would have given it all fives because his quad sal cow, I'm telling you, his quad sal cow at the beginning of his program has just been the best quad sal cow I think I've ever seen from any skater, and I don't think anyone can do it better than him. It's really amazing. So yeah, your three top skaters from Japan going to the Olympics for the men's: Kao Miura, Shin Sato, and Yuma Kageyama. Let's head over to the women's event in Japan, which is just as chaotic and just as unfortunate and just as crazy and makes me want to cry just as much. Let's start in 28th place with a result that genuinely shocked me and the world. In 28th place, unfortunately, was Hana Yoshida, who is such a talented skater. And this short program was just one of those short programs you just don't can't prepare for. She had a fall and under rotation on her triple axle attempt, a under rotated triple Lutz into a double toe, and then unfortunately a downgraded triple loop. Hana Yoshida, a very strong star this quad, won't be making it to the Olympics this time around, but she has been a star. She was the bronze medalist at the Grand Prix final 2 seasons ago, fifth place 1 season ago. She's been to the World team and placed eighth. She's been such a strong skater. But just this nationals, this short program was just unfortunately not her best short program. And I'm sure she still has a lot of seasons and a lot of potential to go. And she's done that triple axel before. And yeah, excited to see what comes next for Hana Yoshida. Maybe it's just not her the best competition, unfortunately. Moving on to 18th place, I want to quickly talk about 18th place. Rion Sumiyoshi, another kind of similar to Hana Yoshida, who has been a really big star this last quad for the Japanese women. 21st in the short program here. The triple Lutz had a big step out, a downgraded triple flip, and a loss of combo in the short, unfortunately. She was 18th in the free with a better skate, fall under rotation on that amazing quad toe attempt. A very shocking fall on the double axel, a fall on the Lutz at the end as well. But still, again, another really strong skater, example of how much talent Japan really has in their women's field with a quad toe attempt, 18th overall. She's done, amazing in the past. These are, again, just not the best skates for Rion Sumiyoshi, but still an amazing skater. And I wish her a lot of success as well. And I'm sure I think she is sticking around for another quad, hopefully. And I think um, we'll have to see what comes out of that. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. Okay. Let's talk about everyone 12th up, and I mean very, very, very quickly. In 12th was Monica Wabe, who, if you recall, did go to the Olympics last time for Team Japan. This competition here was just, over the last quad, she hasn't really found the consistency that that one Olympic season she had back then carried. But still a good showing for Monica Wabe in a very competitive field. 11th place was my absolute favorite skater, Rina Matsuke. I'm glad we got to see these programs again. She was 16th in the short program with her Lux Eterna short program, popped triple toe, and then the triple flip had 8 under rotation on it. She really rallied in the 10th place free skate with her Nutcracker program. A couple under rotations, but it was so glorious. It was so beautiful. Every edge, every blade just flowed and flowed and flowed and flowed. And I will not forget her Nutcracker program either. In 10th place in her final national program was Miss Mai Mihara, also of Japan. Oh my gosh, what can we say about Mai Mihara? We remember her because that amazing 2022-2023 season she had, winning the Grand Prix final. Ever since then, some big struggles with injury, but here she delivered two very heartfelt performances. The 13th in the short with Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence was so beautiful. And then she kind of rallied with an 11th in the free skate to Jupiter, another beautiful program. She kind of proved the world why she is such a good skater. Yes, there were under rotations. Yes, the GOE isn't so high, but just all those injuries really did impact her career. But such an amazing skater, another example of how much talent this field had. Kind of a big star on the international stage, kind of someone who's been seen as underrated, was the ninth place skater Saki Miyake of Japan. Obviously, she was 12th in the short program. She was ninth in the free skate with her big triple axel attempt. Had a bit of a step out on that triple axel, but the rest of the program was pretty good. Again, another good skater, a triple axel attempt, so good. She has been scoring very, very high, and even this 195 is a super strong score on any international stage. The top 8 here, eighth place. This was such a good skater, such a good two programs. Something to really remember was Wakaba Higuchi in her last national championships performance. She was eighth in her short program here with the clean skate, double axel. The triple south, triple toe was good. The triple lutz was good. In fact, the highest scoring solo element in the entire field in the short. Eighth in the free as well. Were there a couple stuck landings? Yes. Was the lutz had a quarter and the flip have an under rotation? Yes. But this Wonder Woman free skate was just so strong, and she was crying at the end of it. She was really, really pouring out all the emotion she could in this Wonder Woman free skate. And it was the last Wonder Woman free skate we'll see from Wakaba Higuchi. And it makes me emotional because she had such a good season last season. She had a pretty, okay season this season with, injuries and everything. It caught up and such a strong skater. And everyone will remember Wakaba Higuchi and how strong of a skater she is. Um, in seventh place here was the Grand Prix final qualifier, Rinko Watanabe, who this is an example, I think, of how strong this Japanese women's field is. She was sixth place in the stripper and with a clean triple lutz. She did under rotate the triple toe on the lutz combo. In the free skate, two clean triple axles, triple axle, triple toe, and then triple axle itself was clean. A quarter on the triple lutz, a quarter on the triple sal, three triple axles altogether, and it still wasn't enough with some of the other, small under rotations quarters she made. She had two clean programs. Why she didn't pop, she didn't fall. So close, so close, and she was really, really, really out for that Olympic spot, and she fought really hard for it. But unfortunately, some of those small mistakes did impact her overall score. So seventh overall for Rinka Watanabe. But again, such a strong skater in such a strong field. The junior skater Mayuko Oka, who also is a very big star on the stage. She was fifth in the short program with another clean triple axel attempt, and she was sixth in the free skate. Did step out on the triple flip, got a quarter on the triple lutz, but what a bright future for Japanese women's skating in that regard as well. This top five was an emotional top five. Aoki in fifth place. This was a result to remember. This is a result I will remember, and that is so amazing. Yuna Aoki, she was seventh in the short here. Triple lutz double toe instead of the triple toe at the end that she would have wanted, but she rallied. Her La La Land free skate was beautiful. It was glorious. The only mistake was a under rotated triple flip at the end of the double axle Euler combo. But oh my gosh, this is the program to remember. The best step sequence of the night, one of the best components scores, second in the components of the night. She was such a strong skater, and she knew this might, be her last national performance, and she skated with her heart out. She skated with a smile throughout her last upright camel spin. I won't forget that big smile. You could see she was smiling through the spin. The crowd loved it. The La La Land was amazing, and it was representative of everything she had done in her career. The fourth place and the first going to the Olympics here for Japan was the youngster Amy Nakai. Third in the short program with a clean skate. The What a Wonderful World. Seventh place in the free skate. Wanted to go for that triple axel. Only got a double axel done. It had a very big step out, unfortunately. And it was just a wonky axis in the air that could not be controlled very well. And then the rest of the program was pretty decent. Quarter on the double toe at the very, very end. But otherwise, it was a pretty decent skate. That one mistake did knock her score down a bit, but she still had a very strong short program command. A very beautiful performance to What a Wonderful World. Strong music, strong skater, beautiful skate. In third place, the second woman going to the Olympics is Moni Chiba, Romeo and Juliet Moni and Chiba. She was fourth in the short program with her Donna Summer, just an unclear edge on the triple lutz. She was fourth in the free skate. A couple mistakes here, under rotated loop, the quarter on the sal, the unclear edge on the lutz, the quarter on the flip, the under rotated double loop. But it was much better than the Grand Prix final skate. She was here to avenge her result from the Grand Prix final, and she did that very well with a very beautiful Romeo and Juliet with a new dress. Um, Second in here, the senior women's field is a junior skater internationally, Mao Shimada, who is such a bright future for Japanese women's skating. She was second in the short program with a clean skate, triple axel, triple flip, triple lutz, triple toe. Amazing. Second in the free skate, did fall and quartered on a quad toe attempt, but the rest of the program was beautiful. It was clean. It was elegant. It was amazing from Mao Shimada, and she will continue to be a great force. Next season, I believe she is senior eligible, and so we will have to see her there. And we'll see how big an impact she makes on the field. In first place overall was kind of the reigning 5-time champion, I believe, of Japan. Kaori Sakamoto, first place in the short program, unclear edge on the Lutz, but it's okay. First place in the free skate, unclear edge on the Lutz again, and then triple flip had a quarter call on it in the triple triple combo, but otherwise it was a clean skate from Kaori Sakamoto. She was crying, everyone was crying at the end of it. Amazing result. She'll be going to the Olympics and hopefully winning a gold medal for her as well. But she has very tight competition from her two teammates. The three women going to Japan, going to the Olympics for Japan: Amy Nakai, Monet Chiba, Kaori Sakamoto, in a very emotional women's field. Compared to the senior pairs field, we did have the withdrawal of the Japanese champions Miura and Kihara after a first place short program. I believe there was a shoulder issue from I believe there was a shoulder issue from Riku Miura. And yeah, they withdrew after a first place short and hopefully will recover for the Olympics. They will be going to the Olympics. The other Olympic spot going to the team of Nagaoka Moriguchi, who won their first national title. But they won their national title with a very clean free skate, a very impressive free skate. And I do wonder if they will be a big threat for that, if they can have these very, very clean skates at the Olympics. In the ice dance field, very fun to see 5 ice dance teams in Japan. Good debut from Rika Kihira and Shingo Nishiyama from Japan, or obviously from Japan. Rika Kihira, if you don't know, she was a big, big skater in the last quad. Kind of had struggles with recovering from injury, and she has now switched to ice dance, which I think is in a great, great position for her. I loved her skates. The third placing was the team of Sasaki and Ikeda, who had really good skates here as well. Fun to see more teams from Japan. Kushida Shimada in second place, another newer team from Japan, and they did really well at this competition. But the first place team was the Japanese team of Yoshida and Morita, who will be competing for Japan in the team event. And yeah, okay, that was Japanese nationals. Let's head over to a nationals that is a lot less stressful, a lot less, a lot less skaters to talk about. Let's talk about Italian nationals real quick and the men's competition. I want to talk about the top 2 men here. Interesting competition because we had the withdrawal due to equipment struggles of Nikolai Momola, who has been another one of the top Italian men over the years. He withdrew here due to equipment, and yeah. But in second place here overall was Matteo Rizzo, who was second in the short at Italian Nationals with a fall on the quad toe attempt, and second in the free with a fall on an under rotated quad toe attempt. But the rest of the program was good. The Olympic spot will really be decided between him and Nikolai Momola. It has not been announced yet which one of them will get the Olympic spot. Obviously, big pressure because the Olympics are in Italy. Matteo Rizzo has been more experienced with 2 Olympics under his belt. Nikolai Momola wants to attend his first Olympics in Italy, and we'll have to see where both those skaters, if who will go. But the other Japanese, the other Italian men's spot is guaranteed to go to the Italian skater Daniel Grazel, who has really had really good competitions this season. He's been first in the short program. He was first in the short program here with a clean skate, first in the free skate with a pop double lutz and under rotation on the loop in the sal. But otherwise, it was a good skate. He's really been the cleanest and most consistent of the Italian men this season, and so really earned his spot onto the Italian men's team, competing at home. Let's talk on the women's side. Ugh. On the women's side this season, the competition for the one women's spot for Italy was really a big competition, widely seen between Anna Pezzetta and Lara Naki-Gutman. Here, Anna Pezzetta was in 4th place, unfortunately. She was 3rd in the short program with a clean skate, and then 5th in the free skate with a fall, unfortunately, on a double axel, a pop double loop, and a fall on a downgraded triple sal. So unfortunately, not her best skate. But she is very, very. She's still very young. She's still a great skater, and I'm sure we will see her a lot in the future as well. as she continues her career in skating. Third place at these Italian women's nationals was Geneva Lavinia Negrello, who was fifth place in the short program with a fall on the triple toe. But then she had a fourth place free skate for third overall with a couple other mistakes, couple other pops, but clean enough to remain in third place or to move up to third place. Serena Jews in second place here. She was second in the short, quarter on the double axel and the triple flip, second in the free skate with a couple two quarter calls on the loop and the lutz, but second overall. But the really, really big winner here, winning her Olympic spot, very rightfully so, lots of gained consistency throughout this season, was Lara Naki Gutman of Italy, first in the short program, did pop a double let, did get first as well in the free skate. There she did pop a double loop and a double let, but otherwise the rest of the program had very high GOE from the judges. Um, very good skates from Lara Naki Gutman, and she will be going to the Olympics for Italy. In terms of the pairs field, the two pairs going will be Giadi Ambrosini, who were second in both programs here at Nationals, with fairly clean skates aside from the side by side jumps. And then the very big first place pair at these Italian Nationals attending the national championships will be Conti and Macchi, who were first in the short program with a clean skate and first in the free skate with okay skates on the side by sides. Did want a triple toe, not a double toe, and then did fall on the triple south throw at the very end, but still good skates from Conti and Machi. Yeah. Let's see. And then in Italy, the ice dancers, a really big main ice dancers getting Italy's one big Olympic spot were Guignard and Fabri, who were first in the short program. Did have a twizzle mistake, I believe, in the rhythm dance. Sorry, not the short program, and first in the free dance as well. Really going for that Olympic, maybe an Olympic podium in Italy, competing at home in Italy. I believe it's their last season together. We'll have to see what they, are able to do after, the judges have maybe not been the kindest to them on the international circuit this season, and we'll have to see they will how they will manage with that, how they will be scored at home at the Olympics. We'll have to see for Guignard and Fabry. Okay, so that was Italian nationals. Quickly, let's move over, not very far geographically, I guess. Let's talk quickly about French nationals. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, let's talk about French nationals. Two men spot for France. The top two here were Adam Chamfa and Kevin Amos. Adam Chamfa, second in both programs here, second in the short. Kind of wild landings, wild jumps on the triple axel and the quad sal. Missed a spin at the end, unfortunately. Another really, really wild free skate, getting the jumps done, not with the cleanest landings. Did get a repetition on the quad toe, double style cow instead of a quad style cow. Kind of wild landings. He was beat, kind of a bit of a surprise, I think, for many people. He was beat by the other Frenchman here, Kevin Amos, who was first in the short with a under rotated quad sal, but also first in the free with a clean skate with no quads, but very, very high GOE on his elements here for Kevin Amos. Yeah, very good skates for Kevin Amos. There is that kind of question: can Kevin Amos kind of be, I don't know, very much the potential to be top five at the Olympics with very clean skates, and we'll have to see where that competition goes. In the women's field, the three here, the top three, there was one French women's spot that will be going to Laurine Schild. Her main competition for that spot was Leah Serna, who was a very nice skater. She was fourth in the short program with a fall on the triple lutz. And then she was third in the free skate with a pretty good skate, just very clean skate, just a quarter on the triple lutz and a big, big step out on that triple lutz at the very end of the program, getting every point that she could. But she was ultimately overtaken by Lorraine Shield, who just skated cleaner in the short program with a clean short, and then a fairly clean free skate as well, an all clean free skate, not with the best GOE, but still really good from Lorraine Shield, who will be representing France at the Olympics. The first place skater was a junior skater, Stefania Gladky, who skated clean in the short and skated clean in the free with higher GOE, and she was able to win overall here. Though the second place finisher, Laurine Schiele, will be representing France at the Olympics. In pairs, the winners were the Kovalevs, the husband and wife duo, Kovalev and Kovalev. They were first in both of their programs, and they will be representing France in the team event for pairs at least. Side by side jumps, a bit of a struggle, but otherwise good skates from them. In the ice dance event, drama a little bit in the ice dance event. Two ice dance spots for France. Um, the top three here, Demirjoul and Mercier, have had a really good season of success on the international stage. They were third overall here with good programs. The second place skaters were Loporeva and Brissot, also with two good programs. They got second overall here. And then in first place was Fonia Boré Cizeron, the new pair, the new team this season with very, 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 and I mean very, very, very high scores on both the rhythm dance and the free dance. Yeah, tens. Yeah, it was very much, it was all there. Yeah, lots of tens, lots of fives and tens. No threes in the GUE at all. Very high scores. But the two ICN spots will be going to Loporeva Brissot and Fonia Baudry Citeron for France. Let's see. How much time do I have? Okay. Quickly, last three nationals I'll talk about. Swiss nationals, the winner in the men's was Lucas Britsky, who had very good skates here actually at Swiss nationals, and we'll have to see, again, another skater who I feel like very much could get into that top five of the Olympics with very clean skates. We'll have to see at Europeans if he's able to defend his European title. Did pop a an Axel and a Lutz in the free skate. But if he can skate really clean at Europeans, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to defend his title. There are two women's spots. Yeah, there are two women's spots available for Switzerland at the Olympics. Very much the case is that one is going to Kimi Rippon. The other one is kind of, how do you say? The other one was probably going to go to Livia Kaiser, but apparently the Swiss Federation has some like score that they want her to achieve, and she has not been able to achieve this season. And it's kind of a question if she will be able to be sent or not. But she was second overall here at the national competition for Switzerland. Third place went to Anastasia Brandenburg, who is mostly on the junior level, who was seventh in the short here at nationals, third in the free with a really rallying free skate. Second place was Livia Kaiser, third in the short with the pops, double let, and then second place in the free with a fairly good skate. Aside from a step out on a triple flip, we'll have to see where she will go with that. And then in first place was another junior skater, that being Leandra Simpukakis. I'm very sorry I'm saying that wrong. Who was first in both programs to take the Swiss women's seniors national title by quite a good amount. She did do a triple axel in the free skate with a quarter and a big step out, unfortunately. But very interesting to see that attempt from her in the Swiss women's field. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. In first place in the pairs, the only pair competing in their field was the team of Voulamont and Bouvard. They were first in the short program with a fall on their triple loop throw, but then they were first in the free skate with a fairly good skate besides another error on that triple loop throw. But I believe they will be attending. They will, right? I believe they are going to, let's see, how they announced it yet. I believe they will be attending the Olympics with Switzerland, right? Oh no, they don't. Switzerland doesn't have a spot. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Switzerland does not have a spot for pairs in the Olympics, but a very promising team for sure in the future. And then in first place in the ice dance field was the team of Zedner and Zieber. Though they were overtaken a bit in the rhythm dance by Sassi and Morini, but yeah, one overall for them in first place. Okay, let's head over to what other country is there? What other? Estonia. Estonia nationals, kind of interesting. Um, for the men's and the women's field, one spot each for, or how do you phrase that? One spot for the men, one spot for the women. Uh, and it was kind of a big, trying to figure out who's taking it. The top three men in Estonia. Third place was Arlet Levandi, who was third in the short program with a quarter on the triple axel, unclear edge on the triple flip. Third as well in the free skate with a fall on the triple axel, quarter on the triple axel, unclear edge on the flip. But the other elements had quite good Jewy on them. Very good to see that from his skating. Um, yeah, very good. But the other top two were the Selevko brothers. In second place was Mikhail Selevko, who was second in the short program with a clean skate, right behind his brother. He was second in the free skate, did pop a quad toe that I think, would have been very helpful. Pop the quad toe into a double toe. He really did, need those points. Not unclear edge, a bit of a struggle getting out of the triple loop, but the rest of the program was fairly clean, and so it ultimately came down to a better skate from his older brother Alexander Selevko, who will be attending his second Olympics, I believe, based on this result in Estonia. He had a clean short program as well, and then a clean Okay, a clean air free skate. Did try to do the quadlets, a bit of a stuck landing on it, but no under rotation call. Wanted a second quad toe, only got the double toe done. Triple axle into a double axle, but the program overall, they really gave him a stronger score on the component side of things, and that's really what won him, as well as his short program lead. That's really what won him the competition, and I believe he will be attending the Olympics, but I don't know for sure. For sure. But yeah, Alexander Shevchenko took the first place in the Estonia Nationals. In the Estonia Nationals for the women's side, there were four skaters in the women's side. Olesa Leonova, who was fourth place here, fourth in both programs. I believe she's on, let me think. She was on the junior level a long time ago. I am so confused. My brain hurts. But fourth here overall with a couple mistakes in her programs. But we'll see how we'll see how we'll see how the rest of the competition turns out here with a third place from Kristina Lisovskaya, who was second in the short program with a quarter on a triple toe, and a third in the free skate with a couple of errors, wanting a triple sal on the end of her double axel, quarter on the triple toe, triple flip had an under rotation on it as well. Second place here was Natalie Langerbauer, who was third in the short program with a quarter on the triple loop, but a very strong second in the free skate with an edge call on the triple lutz and a quarter on the loop, but the rest of the program was fairly clean. But the crown here went to Nina Petroikina, who is a very strong skater. She was only competing since she kind of took 2 months off the competition because of injury, and then she came to Talent Trophy, and then she came here to win the national title. She is the reigning European champion. Triple lutz, triple toe had a or triple sal, triple toe had a quarter on that second jump. But then a first place in the free skate for her with a fairly clean skate besides a popped triple lutz in the second half of the program. I'm sure she wants that to be a triple Lutz Euler triple Sal. Only got doubles on both of those jumps, but otherwise, strong skater. I'm excited to see if maybe hopefully she can defend her European title. Was injured, but we'll have to see how that goes, how everything goes with Nina Petroikina. But yeah, that was Estonian nationals with first for Alexander Selevko and Nina Petroikina overall. Quickly, I want to talk about British nationals and the results of British nationals. First place in the men's event went to Edward Appleby, the young, nice lad Edward Appleby that Ted Barton really likes talking about. He was first in the short program, bit of a spin error, and then second in the free skate with a couple technical errors, two pops on both double on the triple flip attempts. Moment was a little bit um was second in the free skate. The first in the free skate went to Tal McRae in Britain in second and second in the short, but then first in the free over Edward Appleby with the cleaner program. And so we'll see how British men's skating develops with those two young skaters competing as well. Let's see. In the women's event, there is one women's spot in Britain. At between really the top two here was Nina Povey in second place with the second in the short with a fall in the triple flip, unfortunately. And then she was also second in the free skate with a couple technical mistakes. Yeah, a couple of technical mistakes, unclear edge on the Lutz, stepped out, quarter on the triple toe. But the winner here was Kristen Spores, who did announce she was taking a break. But then she, I think, kind of went back on that. She earned the spot for Britain at Worlds, and then she decided to take a break, but she was back for this nationals. She was first in the short program, did do a waltz jump instead of a double axel that she would have wanted. And then she was also first in the free skate with an okay free skate here. Triple Let's Pop, downgraded triple loop. Um, got two of the triple flips done. And the rest of the program was pretty good. Very impressive for a comeback, very impressive for having taken a break. And, I think she is confirmed for the Olympic team for Britain, but I don't know. At least I think she's probably the most likely to go based on these results that she had at British Nationals. But I don't know, maybe it will be decided at Europeans because they do have two spots as well as at Europeans, and we'll have to see there. The pairs field, the winners were Vipin Law and Digby, the pair that has really dominated British pair skating for the last few seasons, a very promising pair for them to. And then the ice dance field, second place with their two spots. Second place went to Phoebe Becker and James Hernandez with two pretty good skates. Um, and then first place went, of course, to the Brits, the Spice Girls rhythm dance, the Scottish free dance, Fear and Gibson first in the rhythm dance, and first in the free dance for first overall. And so yeah, that was all the nationals I want to talk about. I genuinely feel like I haven't breathed in the last 40 minutes, but we'll have to talk. We'll have to see. I do kind of want to talk about a bit quickly, I guess, about the pairs, not the pairs, the Olympic selections so far. And so what countries have announced what selections. Just to have a recap, not a recap, a review of that. Armenia has selected their pairs, Akopova and Rachmanin. Australia has selected their pairs, Golubeva, Giotopoulos Moore, and their Iceland team, Harris and Chan. Austria will be sending Olga Mikutina for the women's field. Azerbaijan will be sending Vladimir Litvintsev. Belgium will be sending both Luna Hendricks and Nina Pinzarone for their women's field. Bulgaria will be sending Alexander Fagan for the women's field. Chinese Taipei, Taiwan will be sending Yu Hiseong Lee for the men's field. The Czech Republic will be sending Tashlova Tashler and Morazkova Morazic for the ice dancers, both of their sibling pairs. For Finland, their women's spot is to be announced in their ice dance. They will be sending Turkila and Vesh let's see here. They will be sending Turkila Vesh unfortunately, they could not use their second spot because of Orihara and Pirina not getting the citizenship on time, which is super duper unfortunate and makes me want to cry because I love their team as well. France will be sending Kevin Amos and Adam Chamfa for the men's, Loreen Shield for the women's. Kamil Kovalev and Pavel Kovalev will be skating only in the team event, and then their ice dancers will be Fournier Baudry Cizeron and Loforeva Brissot. Georgia will be sending a full team of Nika Igadze for the men, Anastasia Gubanova for the women, Metokina Barulava for the pairs, and Davis and Smolkin for the ice dancers. For Great Britain, Edward Appleby will be skating in the team event. Kristen Spores will be skating in the women's event, so disregard what I said earlier. Anastasia Vipinlaw and Luke Digby will be skating in the pairs, and the ice dance will be Phoebe Becker, James Hernandez, and Lila Fear, Lewis Gibson. Hungary will be sending their pair Pavlova Sviatchenko. For the individual neutral athletes that qualified back at the competition, the Olympic qualifying competition earlier this season, the one man is Peter Gumenik, and then the two women, Adile Petrosian and Victoria Safanova. Israel will be sending their woman, Maria Senyuk. Italy will be sending Daniel Grazel and another man that is to be announced. They will be sending Lara Nakigutman for the women, Conti and Machi for the pairs, Giardi and Rossini for the pairs, and Guignard and Fabry for the ice dance. Japan will be sending a very, very hefty field for the men, Yuma Kageyama, Kalmira, Shun Sato, Moni Chiba, Amy Nakai, Kari Sakamoto for the women, the pairs, Miura, Kihara, and Nagaoka, and Moriguchi. And the ice dance in the team event will be Yoshida and Morita. For Kazakhstan, their men's spot, Mikhail Shidorov, their women's spot, Sofia Zemedelkina. Latvia will be sending two men for the first time with Fedir Kulish and Denis Vasievs. Lithuania will be sending Meda Varekojite, I believe. I'm very sorry if I'm saying that wrong, for the women, and Reed Ambrulivicius for the ice dance. Mexico will be sending Donovan Carrillo for the second time for the men's field. For the Netherlands, they will be sending their team Daria Danilova, Mikhail Siba for the Paris field. That was a bit controversial that they weren't going to send them, but now they actually are, so yay. For the women's field in Romania, they'll be sending Julia Sauter, who's a very strong, strong skater, and I'm happy she's going to the Olympics for the first time. Slovakia will be sending Anna Pangara for their men's field. Spain will be sending Tomas Lorink, Yorenk Guarino Sabate for their men, and for their ice dance, both Olivia Smark, Tim Deek, and Sofia Val and Asaf Kazimov will be going for ice dance. And Sweden will be sending Andreas Nordbeck for their men's field, and Ukraine finally will be sending Kirill Marstak for the men's event. So that's all the current things that we know about who is going to the Olympics. Obviously, there's some very big countries like South Korea, the United States, Canada that have not announced their Olympic team yet because they haven't done their nationals or they haven't done their selection process yet. And so I'll be keeping you guys updated on that, but that's all that we know as of today, the 23rd of December. Anything else? But yeah, that's kind of all for this episode of a Teen Talks Game podcast. Thank you so much for coming to episode 100. My name is Zango. I hope you enjoyed episode 100, where I talked about all the major national results in like 50 minutes, and my voice will definitely hurt for today and tomorrow now. Yeah, I will see you in 2026. This is the last episode of this year. I will see you in 2026 for the review of US Nationals in St. Louis, Missouri. And all the episodes, just a disclaimer, all the episodes until March will be competition focused with US Nationals, Europeans, Four Continents, and the Olympics in February. So get ready for that. And I will hear for you guys next week. Have a great holiday. Happy holidays. Happy winter break. And happy new year. And I will see you next year for episode 101 of a Teen Talk Skating podcast. Thank you and bye bye.